Alright. Hello everyone, this is not a drill. There's actual new content. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it was so fast. They have made free-to-play Discguns. Wow. Incredible. Like, actually, though, unironically incredible. This is one of the things that I've seen requested a lot that I did not think they would ever do. Even if they ever put in new content, wouldn't have imagined that they would make free-to-play Discguns. But they're here, apparently. I have no idea yet if they are weaker than the Mixmaster, other than that they are normal damage, which I think is actually a very interesting implementation. I've thought a normal Mixmaster would be very strong for a long time. Part of it is that beasts and gremlins, they react to bullets, but they don't react to Mixmaster shots unless they've changed it. And so having a normal type of that should make it the best gun for beating at least beasts, and probably pretty good for gremlins. Of course, they could have changed how it works and actually coded them as bullets. Let's just hope not. So yeah, how it works is this is part of an event. There's an event that you have to go through the clockworks. If you're on a mech floor, you can get these spikes. You collect spikes and you can create the new guns. There's other patch notes as well. One of them that I'm really excited for is there is finally borderless window mode. I have been asking for this since the game, pretty much since it came out on Steam. Like back when it was a browser game that wasn't an issue. But ever since a Steam release, not having a windowed borderless be natively supported is crazy. So it's here. They do say that there is now faster weapon switching and mouse wheel improvements. And I'm really curious about that because I weapon switch with mouse wheel and it's not optimal, right? You could switch by setting each thing to the weapon number. I really prefer to just do next previous weapon. That way you don't have to use the modifier key. You can just scroll up and scroll down. But it's a frame slower. Have they changed that? Moment of truth. 2 Mixmasters. Why did that buffer a third shot? Why did that buffer a shot? Am I not on? I am on max attack speed. What is this feel different? That is buffering shots when it wouldn't. What in the world is that? Oh, oh, that's a frame faster though. Okay, so that's the speed that you would have if you bound to a. That's really bug. But if you bound your weapons to keys instead of next previous, this is how fast the animations would go. I think something is weird with the implementation though, because that should not be buffering a third shot there. Neither should that. Did they like extend the buffer window? What in the world is going on? That's a real. I am so confused. Okay. Something's definitely changed about like when you would press shield and have it go. But if you can get used to it, it's a frame faster than before. I can't help but notice that the screen is not shaking. I guess, okay, they've really toned that down. I'm pretty sure if you shot an enemy before, you would have a seizure. I think there's maybe some if you're right next to them. Like, am I crazy here? Yeah, there's some if you're right next to the enemy. And then if you're further away, there's almost none. So they've changed how the screen shake works. It doesn't destroy your eyes. Probably for the better, but at the same time, I actually quite enjoyed the screen shake for whatever reason. That firing timing is going to be like that just didn't shoot the projectiles. Are they still there? Would they have done damage? Have to know. Okay, I'll go to the guild hall training dummies. The guild was in default, so I had to pay 70,000 crowns to use a training room. Is it really 35 damage? That can't be correct. 35? Huh. Is weakness less than a quarter of the damage? That's crazy. What? Oh my goodness. Wow, I never knew it was so little. That's very interesting. Okay, anyways, let's test what we came here for. It just doesn't shoot. Those do not do damage. So you can switch faster, but if you switch a frame too fast, the projectiles just don't come up. And if you switch at the right time, it's a frame faster than it was before. I think that's what's going on here. I have no idea what's up with the weird buffering though. It's sometimes buffering 3 shots when it would not have before. So the timing on the shield has changed. There are sometimes ghost projectiles if you try to switch too fast. Yeah, that's nothing. Okay. So you have to be really careful about your timing now. I'm still excited though. I think overall, net positive, right? It's probably going to take some time to get used to it, and also for them to fix whatever's going on with the buffering here. And the ghost projectiles. But those are just bug fixes, right? Once they fix those, huge improvement. I don't think it makes any sense that your control scheme defined how much damage you could do before. That's already an amazing patch. Just fix the bugs and revolt them. And I have full confidence that they will. Let's talk about the actual weapon, right? You go into the Clockworks, you find a floor that has mechs on it, and then you'll get these spike things. I have barely any of them. I did one floor that has mechs, I have 25 spikes. I don't know if there's a way to get more of them, if you're supposed to let the enemies grab them. I'll show you in a bit. But you get these spikes. You can then go to Basil and buy a recipe for this new gun. I guess I can buy multiple. I'm kind of surprised about that. Let's just buy a bunch. Are they tradable? They sure. Okay. So you can see it costs typical 2-star weapon stuff, but then also 300 tiny spike and 100 small spike. I am getting minute spikes, so I assume I'm actually on a stratum that's too low. I guess the stratum 1 spikes don't give you anything for that. I have no clue what they're for. Maybe the heat crystals that they said were possible to get in the update. So we're just looking for mech floors. You can see this is a mech floor, right? There's all this glowy stuff going on in the background, and then there's these spikes. So this should give me a tiny spike. So that's my first tiny spike, right? If an enemy gets a hand on a tiny spike, it's going to get a buff and it's going to get healed a bit. So just grab that. It healed actually quite a lot, 107. That's a lot of health for Stratum 2. It would now drop the spike on death. Something else can pick it up, and then it will also get the buff. I don't see any benefit to letting them pick it up. Like, it still only drops 1 spike. I don't know if that interacts in a weird way with jellies or something like that. Because I guess they can divide. So would them dividing multiply the spikes? Or would it get rid of them? That's the question. Until we know though, let's just assume that there's no benefit and maybe messing around with it every once in a while. Right. So I'm going to grab these. You can see at the bottom right, it for some reason just tells you how many you have. I just left a spike behind, so that's my bad. It's probably not worth going back for 1. I know I can like mixer charge to break the block. We'll try it once. It actually succeeded, okay. It's pretty rare for that to succeed from the side, and I'm also surprised they didn't patch that. But pleasantly surprised. Now, when an enemy room spawns, I've noticed spikes do spawn around. So they spawn on enemies and then sometimes also in the side of the room, at least from the other floor that I did. Okay, yeah, so another one is spawned on this enemy. I don't know if it's over time, if it's as you do damage to them. No clue. I also noticed they do actively try to pick them up. So this gremlin got a couple spikes. Now this lumber's going to go for it too. If I didn't kill it, it would have grabbed those and got buff. Right? You do not get these things quickly, by the way. 17. I'm not going to go for those boxes. I don't think the boxes give you spikes. I could be wrong. That's crystals down there. Probably also doesn't. I guess it's kind of too bad you have to wait for the enemies to die. Not like a huge issue, but an issue. Wow. That is twice in a row that it's broken a block from the side. If anything, that's more consistent than I would usually get. It probably would be fun to just get an enemy full of all of the spikes. So maybe I'll do this danger room and just not pick them up and see what happens. Let's try that out. I don't know if it increases their damage too, or if it's just their speed and the heal. There's some beefy guys. I suppose the soaker doesn't do all that much on Stratum 2, but still. Okay. Wow, that switching feels really weird with the Umbra Driver now. Very strange to the time. Okay. This wolf is getting so buffed. Look at him go. Get rid of all the other ones so they don't steal all the spikes. That just destroyed my shield in one hit. It definitely buffs their damage. And you can tell it buffs their speed. No question about that. Okay, he's super buffed now. Oh my goodness, look at that attack speed. What a guy. That could be terrifying with something like Grievers. Or with a Mender. I wonder if it makes the Mender heal more often too. You'd kind of want poison for that, I suppose. And it would help with the enemies not getting the spikes. Against my better judgment, I'm still going to leave those on the floor. I'm probably going to die on floor 5. But we have to know. I'm not going to use the health pill here. We'll just let nature take its course and let the wolves get really strong. It's already so funny just seeing this thing zoom. I still don't think there is any benefit to letting that happen, other than the comedic value of it. I'm assuming you're not going to be doing this as you're farming unless it actually multiplies rewards. Oh my gosh. You can't even end the soaker shot without him attacking. Wow. That's crazy. If you shield bump it away, it still attacks fast enough that the attack goes through. That's absolutely amazing. Again, I'm not going to use a health pill. I want to just see how fast this thing goes and how much damage it'll do. Wow, that just froze me through everything, though. Nice. Wait, they shoot little bombs now. That's great. Just gonna Umbra Driver it. What makes them shoot the bombs? Is that just when they get enough? Go. Claim your prize. Be free. Look at him go. He even does his little bark animation faster. Okay. Pretend I had a normal damage mixmaster here. We're gonna hit him for 7s. Good to see, though. The Mixmaster still does not trigger their dodge. So very nice. So the normal damage one will make very short work of that. Oh, there's more. I think I'm going to try to leave one of the lumbers alive. I feel like that'd be a funny one to give the spikes as a lumber. I'm going to have to get rid of the wolvers as fast as I can, or else they're just going to like ascend and become impossible. Okay, good. A lumber got most of the spikes there. That's what we want to see. They continue to Umbra Driver them. I don't think I can actually use a normal attack of a soaker. Okay, I can't even normal attack the Umbra Driver. That was a fast guy. Okay. Kill the other lumber. All the spikes will be available. I might as well just use Alpha. I can't help but notice there's 4 on the ground. And let's get to full health actually and see if it one-shots you. So it's got spikes on the ground. You gotta go get those spikes, of course. There we go. Does it kill me through shield? No. Does it kill me through existing? It would if there wasn't a 1 health protection rule in this game. For being called a lumber, they're surprisingly fast too. Like, just look at that speed. He sits around doing nothing for a while, and then he just decides to zoom as if he's in Cars 2. Okay, that was the whole arena. I mean, I don't understand why the mechanic is what it is, but I appreciate the creativity. I think it's very strange to make the spikes buff enemies, but then seemingly at least have no benefit for stacking them onto one. I guess it's probably for the better, because if there was a benefit, it'd be kind of a chore to just, oh, let's go stack 50 spikes on this tree every time we do an arena. Yeah, I could see that getting old fast. But you would think in that case that then you kill an enemy with a spike, maybe the spike just automatically goes to you. I'm not sure. Or maybe they've made it the way it is so that you can set up something funny if you really want to. So what decides where the spikes spawn? If the enemies spawn in, the spikes spawn in. Sometimes I see the spikes spawn on the enemies, sometimes they don't. Okay, no. I thought they fixed the Mixmaster coding, but no, it still breaks both your projectiles when it hits a block, so no fix. Oh well. What is next? Is there constructs? There are. Well, you know what though? Let's figure out if a decon zone counts as constructs or not. I think that's a good last test here. It does count. You can see the backgrounds going. What? What do you mean? Why is it on the roof? What happened here? Decon zones don't seem to have as many spikes, and they spawn in really weird spots. So I'm guessing you're still better off going clockworks, but at least this is an option in a pinch. If you don't have other sources for them, you can go here, get your spikes. Tier 1 Mechanites don't have shields? I never knew that. Okay, for science, let's know. Can you give the Mechanite a spike if it's on your team? These things are so worthless that maybe the one thing of value they could do is kill yourself faster by shocking you more often. Please. Okay, it doesn't work with a shock. Do they still shock you? I assume they must, but let's see. I'll just stand on this guy. Whoa, wait, it doesn't? When did they fix that? Oh my gosh. Oh, no, it does. Okay. Not even gonna shield it. This is the punishment for my crime of trusting a Mechanite. Oh, show him what you can do, Mechanite. That just didn't even do 40 damage, right? Am I crazy? I don't think it did 40. That's maybe 20 damage at most. That's incredibly bad. I forgot just how worthless they are. They've surpassed my expectations. It's dead already. Oh, Mechanite. You're so worthless. What a good use of 5 energy you are. I fear that rooftop spike may never be obtained. It wasn't meant for mortals to obtain. We were born without wings, so that we would never fly to the spike. I'm not going to open the treasure room, there is no point in that. And it seems like that's all, so only 11 spikes from the decon zone. Here we have total. Okay, so 54 spikes. It's looking like this is going to be a heck of a grind, right? Now, the last thing I want to talk about here, I don't have the gun yet. It's going to take some time, and I just don't have the time right now. These spikes are tradable. You can go in the auction house, you can sell your spikes there. People will probably pay a lot since it's early on in the event. Not this much. I don't think you can sell them for 2k each. Dare to dream and all that. But, you know, they'll sell eventually for some respectable amount. Don't try to sell them for 2,000 each. That's never selling. Other thing, recipes. You can buy the recipes. They're tradable, of course. What that means is you can preview the higher tier weapons, right? It gets stun. That's very strong. To have a normal mixer that does stun, surprisingly powerful. I actually think this will be absolutely top tier, even though it's a normal damage weapon. Really cool stuff. There was the 5-star one as well. I already forget what it's called. Let's actually sort by stars. That's probably the smartest way to do this. Mandolin. Okay. People are trying to sell this recipe for way too much, considering you can buy multiple of them at Basil. But in any case, just look at those crafting requirements. Oh my gosh. 3,000 large, 1,000 huge spikes. That is, at the rate that I was getting them, that is hundreds of floors. Yeah, that's a long grind. I hope you get them faster, but I don't think it's going to be so much faster that this will ever be a nothing grind. And in fact, I'll go as far as to say I simply will not have the time by this event's ending to actually get one of these myself. Right. I'll have to just hope that people farm them to sell and buy one from someone, because there's no way I have the time to do hundreds of floors to get one gun. That's ridiculous. Either way, though, very cool that they've added something. Love the quality of life improvements, even though the switching's a little buggy right now. I'm sure they'll fix it. You can trade these things, so please sell me a mandolin, I guess. That'd be great. And sell me a GM Umbro driver. That's all I want for Christmas. With that all said, though, thank you all so much for watching. Good luck if you do decide to grind for these things. It's going to be one long grind. But I believe in you. And then farm a second one and sell it to me. Thank you. And have a wonderful day.